Was the Book of Boba Fett better than The Mandalorian? When will GTA 6 release? And when will the Kenobi Star Wars series premiere? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. First off, I want to go ahead and say that the Super Bowl was this past Sunday. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was last Sunday for all of you listening to this. I did, in fact, watch it. It was contested between the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, if you aren't familiar with either of those teams, you are listening to the wrong person to give you all things sports. I am not a sports watcher. I'm not somebody who pays attention to sports that much. I only usually pay attention to the main games that actually matter, with like the Super Bowl or the AFC or NFC championship or whoever wins the NBA championship in basketball. And whoever wins the main championship for baseball, that kind of stuff. Like, I only pay attention to the main, like, who's this year's champion, you know. But I did, in fact, watch the entire Super Bowl this year. That's something I haven't done in a while, that I've really paid attention to it. Main reason is because Joe Burrow is the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. And, of course, all of you listening know he was, in fact, the quarterback for LSU, and he was the quarterback for LSU when they won their national college championship a couple years, like 2 years ago, I think, right before COVID happened, which was amazing in itself. And now I was hoping that he would win only because of Joe Burrow, but there's a Monroe native, or West Monroe native, I guess, Andrew Whitworth, who is on the Rams, and then the Rams actually did win. They won the Super Bowl 23-20. It was a good game. It was kind of, I wouldn't say it's like totally even, but I mean, they didn't really get super high scores on each other. You know, they won, it was a 3-point lead is what won the game, you know, 23-20. So it was like, it wasn't like 40-7 or something. You know, it wasn't a blowout. You know, these two teams are really that good. This is the second Super Bowl the Rams have ever won in their franchise history, and the Cincinnati Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. So that was another reason why I wanted the Bengals to win, to finally get a Super Bowl, and that Joe Burrow was able to take them there. Of course, this is Joe Burrow's first Super Bowl, and I definitely know for 100% a fact that this will not be his last. He will definitely be, I already think he's going to be the next Tom Brady. You know, when you think about like a guy like me who doesn't pay attention to much sports, you know, I know like the main people that are famous from the NFL. Like, I don't know whoever the tight end for the Seattle Seahawks is, you know. I don't know who's one of the running backs for the New York Giants. Like, I don't know all the people on the teams. I knew Peyton Manning, I know Eli Manning, I knew Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Tim Tebow, you know, and Tom Brady, you know, and I knew Gronk, of course, and I know some people who come from LSU and go to other teams like Leonard Fournette, and I know Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow, of course. So it's like, I know some people, but I don't know like everybody. You know, I'm not the encyclopedia of football. You can't ask me what position, who plays this position on this team. I will not know unless it's a quarterback for any team that I do know. Like, I know, what's his name? I done forgot his name. The quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. That's his name. I know him. He's in a lot of commercials. So it's like, if they're in a commercial, and a good many of them, I will end up knowing their name. That's the only reason I know their name. And, you know, I know like Terry Bradshaw, who hasn't played in forever, and Brett Favre, who's retired, of course, as well. So it's like, but Tom Brady being retired, I definitely think what I'm saying is like Peyton Manning was one of the last big names. And then, in my opinion, it was Tom Brady, of course. Everybody knows that. And then following after Tom Brady, I think, will definitely be Joe Burrow. He's that guy. Aaron Rodgers currently is one of them, He's still one of the big names that are still there, and apparently he's not going to be with the Packers anymore, I guess. I don't really know. I'll have to have somebody who knows football to be on soon to actually learn all this stuff for me. But yeah, one of the main big things of the Super Bowl for me, of course, is the commercials. I really like the Super Bowl commercials. It's really known that the best commercials come on during the Super Bowl. The only main one was that we got a real good commercial for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and I will talk about that later. And what got me was that the Super Bowl started, and of course, I don't remember their names. We had someone sing America the Beautiful and another woman sing the national anthem, and they did really well. And then right when kickoff was about to happen, for some reason, The Rock wasn't there. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was out there doing his whole spiel, going on, cutting a promo right when the Super Bowl's trying to start over there. Finally, the Super Bowl is back in Los Angeles, doing his whole thing, because it's been like 30 years since the Super Bowl's been in LA. And Super Bowl I, in fact, actually took place in Los Angeles, and now we're here at Super Bowl like 56, I think. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens next year, see what's going to happen, if Tom Brady will actually stay retired, where Aaron Rodgers is going. But it was a good game. Thought it was good. Joe Burrow definitely will be going back to the Super Bowl, maybe even next year, you never know. And we'll see what happens, I don't really pay attention to football, like I said, but it'll be interesting to see, like when big stuff takes place, But congrats to the LA Rams for winning a Super Bowl, and they did good. So I want to talk about this. This was announced like last week. There's this thing called the Play Pulse 1. Now, if you've heard of this, you already know why I'm going to talk about it. The Play Pulse 1 is an exercise bike. Now, it's one of them bikes that just stand in one place, stationary bike, that you just like get up on it, you sit on it, and you start pedaling your legs on the little like sandal-looking pedal things, every gym has this. If you have an at-home gym that has actual like equipment there, this is like one of the things that you just put in there, because it's a stationary bike, you just sit up on it and start pedaling, and then you're losing calories and you're losing weight and all that kind of stuff, and you're staying in shape. So the Play Pulse 1, you can go to playpulse.com here. What this is that it is an exercise bike with this gigantic screen on the front of it that you look at, like a small TV. And it incorporates video games into the screen and your exercise movements, that you can, like, the faster you pedal, like if you're playing a racing game, the faster you pedal, the faster your car will go in the game, and then you can race. I don't think you can race real people. I don't think they've made that a feature to have multiplayer on this, but you race like AI computer people in the game, and that's about it, really. It's called a gaming bike, so it's like you're able to move around and pedal to play the game. This says you could watch a movie, but it's like its own thing. So it's like you can play. It has the handles on the front that you hold on to is like a really wide, like PlayStation or Xbox controller. That way you can hold on to it, and it's like a foot apart as your hands. It's just this long, foot long, like, board or whatever, and you put your hands on the controller parts, and you're able to push buttons and all that. And then when you're turning, you're pedaling. That's what the movement of the car or the tank that you're controlling. That's how fast it moves and how it goes. If you stop pedaling, the vehicle that you're playing as in the game stops moving. So they're trying to incorporate exercise more into gaming because, I mean, everybody's pretty much involved in gaming nowadays. Whether you buy it for your kids, buy it for yourself, play it, work in some department of gaming, anything really. I mean, gaming is now involved in pretty much almost everybody's everyday lives. I mean, it pretty much is mine as well, whether I read about it, play a game, look at other stuff, look at news about it. Like, there's all parts of gaming in everyone's lives now. So they're like, how can we involve gaming into exercising? That way, not only can you get the enjoyment and the drive out of playing these games, but also stay fit and active instead of sitting around all day, which, I mean, is what pretty much everybody does back in the day and now, that you just sit in a comfortable chair, recliner, or on the couch or something and just play God of War, Halo, the new Horizon Forbidden Dawn game, you know. So it's like, they're trying to get involved, and I understand that. You know, VR was kind of the right step going into exercising because of being able to get up and walk around in the world that you're in the VR with, but also you're walking around in the real world, in our world, you know, walking around in your bedroom, living room, wherever it is. And I like it. You know, I'm not going to get it. This thing costs like $1,500. So it would be interesting to have and to try, but unless they want to give me one for free, and I'll talk about it even more, sponsor me, Play Pulse. I don't think I would buy it anytime soon, of course. But having basically a gaming exercise bike in like a home gym would be awesome. I would definitely do that. Like, I'm not a fan. I mean, bicycles are okay, but I don't ride them, you know. That's just not my preferred method of working out or staying in shape, you know. I go to the gym and I'll lift some weights, you know, and get on some machines, but I'm not one for, hey, let's take a bike ride, you know. Like, I walk. I'd rather walk than get on a bike, you know. So yeah, Play Pulse 1, if you want to know more about that, you can go to playpulse.com and see all about it. There's videos, pictures, and all that if you want to know what the Play Pulse is about. So, this is big news to me, but all of us have definitely watched the Back to the Future movies, whether you've watched one of them, or all of them, or just two of them. There's only 3 of them. So the car, the Back to the Future car, is known as a DeLorean, if you didn't know. Well, it was just announced the other day that the DeLorean Motor Company, the DMC, will be making its official return this year. They have announced that with a commercial, with like a little 15-second ad, is what they put out. The DeLorean Motor Company was a company that just made DeLoreans in the late 70s and early 80s, and then they defunct or went out of business in 1982. They have just announced the other day here in 2022 that they will be returning 40 years later, 40 years out of business. And they are making the 100% all-electric DeLorean that is going to look more futuristic. It's not going to look like the original DeLoreans, but it's still going to have the same feature of it, you know. It's going to be futuristic. It's going to be electronic, of course. 100% electric, like a Tesla, but a DeLorean. And it's, of course, one of my favorite things. It's going to have the butterfly doors. When you open it, it just goes straight up, you know. Because normal doors, you know, you open, they go from side to side, depending on which side you're getting on, of course. But the doors, and then some doors, you know, you could pick up, but like the door would slide up. You understand what I'm saying? Like those like sports cars, not the whole door doesn't just flip up into a butterfly like how, and make wings like how the DeLorean does. I'm talking about those doors where you picture the door and you're going to walk up towards it and you hit the door handle and you just move your arm in a 90-degree angle up. Like your hand goes up like that. Not pulling it out, you're pulling it up. And it just slides up, you know, where it kind of makes Is that butterfly doors? No, that's not butterfly doors. Anyway, the DeLorean is coming back 100% electric. Somebody said this is going to be the Tesla killer. I don't think that's true, in my opinion. I definitely think the car... I love DeLoreans. I like older cars. I like the older Camaros. I'm talking like 60s and 70s era of cars. The Dodge Chargers and Challengers of that era. The Camaros, the Mustangs, all those cars, including the DeLorean and even the El Camino, and you can throw a Bronco in there. All those types of cars are amazing, in my opinion. To bring those cars back, starting with the Bronco was the first act of that. They started with the Bronco. Now they're bringing the DeLorean back, and they're making an electric Bronco, and now they're making the 100% electric DeLorean. If they can bring back those older 60s to 70s models cars and make them electric, that is the perfect scenario, in my opinion, because I don't have an electric car right now. I drive a truck, a smaller one, and at some point within the next 5 years at least, probably within the next 3 or 4, I imagine myself buying an electric car. Whether it be a Tesla, this new DeLorean, depending on how expensive it is, or if they wanted to make like an all-electric El Camino or an all-electric 1969 model Dodge Charger, or anything that looks like, or one of those older style Mustangs. I would collect those if I had a crap ton of money. If I was a millionaire, I would definitely try to just collect older model cars that are electric. And if you try to take one of those older model style cars and make it electric, God, that's got to cost a bunch of money when you think about it. Like buying a brand new engine and putting it in your car, that's why there's always, it's a joke, but it's kind of true that whenever, they say, oh, you're going to have to buy a new engine, that's why people just buy a whole new car, because it becomes to the point of being more expensive to repair the car in total, in longevity, than it is just to buy a brand new vehicle right now off the lot. And I don't know how that would work if you try to take like a 1970 model Mustang and put a brand new engine in it. You'd have to take the gasoline and all that out of it, the intake and everything, to swap it, somehow making it electric. I don't know. I think you could probably do that, but I don't know how you would do that. It would be really complicated, and it's above my knowledge of cars. I like the way cars look inside and out, but once you raise the hood, I can tell you where the engine is. I can tell you where you put your washer fluid. I can tell you where you swap your oil. I can tell you that. Other than that, I don't have a clue anything. If I look under a vehicle, I don't have a clue what is. I know you stick the gas pump in the hole on the side to put gas in it. Expensive gas nowadays, especially. But I'm not a car guy. I like the way they look. That's why I like Teslas. I like the way they look on the outside, and they're futuristic on the inside. That's what I want about it. I want a car that has a big touch screen in the middle of it. I want a car that you're freely able to Bluetooth something on it. I want a car that one day, especially with the Teslas nowadays, you might be able to play a game or watch a movie in your car on the screen in the console right in the middle. And if the DeLorean is anything like that, I am 100% behind it. I'm already behind it, really. I can't wait to see what it actually looks like. They didn't really show it was a darker image in the video, but I want to know what it looks like, what the inside looks like, the interior, the exterior, of course. I want to know what the console is like, what's the futuristic part of it. Does it have back seats? I guess it does, because it's only a two-door. How good is it being electric? How far can it go? All that kind of charge and everything like that. I want to know that. So that's why. Like, and are there any customizations available? Like, if I go to like DeLorean.com or whatever, can I customize my car? That's what I want to know. But it's really interesting. If you want to, you can watch it. It's only 15 seconds long. Just Google new electric DeLorean or something like that, and you'll probably find it. So I'm excited about it, and I really can't wait to see what happens with that. So it was announced the other day, Rockstar Games officially announced that they are on active development on Grand Theft Auto 6. We finally got some news after Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out for 1,000,000 years now, and they re-released the older Grand Theft Auto games, the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, which was Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and San Andreas. And those didn't do good as they wanted them to because they were really buggy, and they've been working on GTA 6 for a little while now. They're on active development. We don't know really anything else. All they've said is that they're working on it, that they are indeed currently working on Grand Theft Auto 6, and hopefully we'll get something within the next couple of months about it. Like when they aim to release it, where's it going to take place? A trailer? Like, that's too much to ask for, honestly. Who's going to be in it? Are there any celebrities in it? Anything like that would be nice to know. So that's really all we know about Grand Theft Auto 6 so far, though. So going into the entertainment world of movies and series, it was announced the other day on Amazon Prime, the good old Prime, that a new series called The Boys Diabolical will be taking place on Amazon Prime, premiering on March 4th. And this is that if you've watched The Boys, the series on Amazon Prime, this is an animated version of that, written by the same writers of The Boys and teaming up with some people who were in charge of making the series Invincible. It will be an all-animated series. It will be 8 episodes, each episode being 12 to 15 minutes long. So it'll take you literally like an hour and a half or less to watch the entirety of this season. Each episode will be in a different animation style as well, which has got me excited, at least. I mean, that's going to be pretty cool. It's also going to be rated R, of course. It's going to be like they said, just imagine The Boys, but animated. That's really, I mean, that's the way I described Invincible to a lot of people. The character Homelander from the series The Boys will also be premiering in this show. He'll be appearing. He's already been in the Boys series. But if you haven't seen The Boys and you have Amazon Prime, I definitely recommend it. And this is on March 4th, the same day that I think the Batman premieres that day. Yeah, the Batman premieres in theaters on March 4th as well. So you can watch this series real quick and then go see the Batman. So I'm excited for it, honestly, because I really love The Boys. That show is really good. Invincible is awesome. And if you haven't seen either of those, I definitely recommend both to watch on Amazon Prime. They're just really good shows, and you would understand what I mean, that they're really good whenever you watch them. And this is going to be good. The Boys Diabolical, of course, season 3 or 4. I want to say season 3 of The Boys premieres in June. I don't remember. A new season of The Boys premieres in June. That's all I remember. But since that premieres in June and they just announced this on March 4th, some interesting stuff is coming soon. That's all I've really got to say. And it's going to be interesting to see. Also, of course, they have officially announced last week and gave into our demands that Star Wars, the limited series Obi-Wan Kenobi, will be premiering on Disney Plus on May 25th. That is right. Finally, it is upon us. We are finally getting the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which is just, of course, everything we have wanted for a long time now. Many people including myself, has said that we deserve a Kenobi show to see what happens after Order 66 takes place, all the way up until he gets killed by Darth Vader in Episode 4. There's like a good 30 years in between that time, because Luke and Leia are born at the end of Episode 3, and then in Episode 4, they're like in their mid-20s, close to 30 years old. So it's like, what did Obi-Wan do in that time? They've officially announced this. It will take place 10 years after Episode 3, so 10 years after Order 66. Kenobi will be on the planet Tatooine and other planets, of course, as well. Hayden Christensen is returning to play Anakin Skywalker. And, of course, Ewan McGregor is returning to play Obi-Wan Kenobi. These are the same actors who play these characters in Episode 2 and 3 of Star Wars. Hayden is, of course, being Anakin, which is Darth Vader. There will be a flashback scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan. The Inquisitors will also be appearing in this, which, if you don't know, the Inquisitors are Sith lightsaber wielders, I guess. They wield the red ones, for those of you wondering. They're the bad guys. They are trained by Darth Vader. There'll be some new characters introduced. Darth Maul might appear. There will be a big fight scene, the rematch of the century between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. Of course, now Anakin being Vader. They've got to have a scene where one of them has got to get the high ground. If they let Darth Vader get the high ground at this point, I don't know what I'm going to do. Of course, a lot of people were like, why don't they premiere it on May 4th? Of course, May 4th is Star Wars Day. You know, may the Force be with you, May the 4th, that kind of thing. But when you realize, they actually explain why May 25th, because May 25th is 45 years to the day that Episode 4 premiered. The first ever Star Wars movie came out on May 25th, 1977. And that was the first ever time we saw Obi-Wan Kenobi, known as Ben Kenobi at that point, the older Ben Kenobi who was slain by Darth Vader in the Death Star in that movie, of course. Star Wars New Hope. And 45 years later to the day, May 25th, 2022, the Kenobi series premieres. So that'll be... it's going to break records. It definitely is going to break record numbers of most... I think it's going to be the most watched show on Disney Plus ever to this point. Spider-Man No Way Home from Marvel, of course, is the top. It's number 3 most grossing movie of all time. And I definitely think that even though Kenobi's on Disney Plus and it's a series, it's definitely going to break records. It's going to be huge. It really is. Because, I mean, I can't do it justice with how big this is going. This is going to be. We haven't gotten a trailer yet. Of course, knowing me, it'll probably premiere tomorrow after I record this. And be like, now that the Toddcast has been recorded, let's release all these trailers for stuff. And I'm like, dadgummit, okay. So, yeah, 10 years after Episode 3 is when it takes place. And Kenobi will be May 25th on Disney+. So, yeah. Also, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness trailer, a really good trailer, premiered at the Super Bowl. And, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to unpack with it. I will be talking more about that next week. So you'll have to tune in next week when I'm talking with my guest about the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer. There's a lot to unpack here with this because of many, many rumors of so many different characters that might show up in this movie. So I'll talk more about it next week because I could talk for the next 20 minutes probably of how excited and amazing this movie is going to be. So it's premiering May 6th is when Doctor Strange is premiering. So just take note. Next week, there's going to be a whole lot of talk about it. So yeah. I wanted to mention this and go ahead and say to y'all that the Peacemaker series has officially ended. The season finale was today. I watched it and I'm about to give my review. So I'm also, right after the Peacemaker review, I'm going to be reviewing the season 1 of Book of Boba Fett. So there's going to be a lot of spoilers for these two shows that I'm about to give a review for. I will go ahead and say this. Season 2 has been confirmed that it will be happening for Peacemaker, which is really good. I'm excited for that. So as of right now, I will be talking about spoilers for Peacemaker, and then I will be talking about spoilers for Book of Boba Fett following after that. And then I'll do a question submitted, and then so on, So, spoiler warning for Peacemaker and Book of Boba Fett. If you've not seen either of these series, I'll say another spoiler warning for Book of Boba Fett afterwards. But if you have not seen Season 1 of Peacemaker and don't want to be spoiled by it, pause, go watch the show, get HBO Max, whatever, as long as you watch it, and then come back, because I'm now about to talk about spoilers for Season 1 of Peacemaker. Okay, so the Peacemaker show, I was excited for it beforehand, and now it is greatly exceeded my expectations, because not only is it a rated R show that's really good, it was so good. I don't know how to really explain it, because it was such a good show. Each character was good. John Cena, I've got to give it to that man. I watched that man for years wrestling and throwing other men around in the ring in the WWE, and seeing him play that good guy character in wrestling, and then from going to that to being this guy that is Peacemaker, that kills people in the name of quote-unquote justice. He doesn't really like to kill women and children, but he will if he has to. In the season finale, the Justice League showed up, which was weird, because he's like, let's get the Justice League, and then at the end, when they're walking away, the Justice League showed up, and it was Superman, Aquaman, The Flash, and Wonder Woman. And you could tell it was Wonder Woman, like Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, and Henry Cavill's Superman. But it was, then they didn't show them, but they showed The Flash and Aquaman, and it was Jason Momoa Aquaman from the movies, and Ezra Miller's Flash, also from the movies. And they talked to each other for a minute, and it was funny. I just love that show. And they left it open for a season 2 because of the butterflies. Cena, or Peacemaker, really didn't kill the last remaining guy, but all of their food source for the alien butterflies it's gone now, so they can't eat anymore. They won't be able to eat. I really thought Harcourt was going to die. She is a great character as well. I mean, all of them are great characters, and it ended happy on a real good high note, and now they said season 2 is confirmed, so James Gunn's going to have to write that one and then get the gang all back together. We'll probably see it, I expect it probably towards the end of 2023, I imagine, because I hardly doubt they're going to work on it or go ahead and start filming soon. They'd have to start filming now if they would want this to come out this time next year, which I don't think that's going to happen, because a lot of other stuff is going to happen. So, and James Gunn's already having to work on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So, all in all, really, I just can't say enough. It's a good show. If you have HBO Max, you should definitely stop. You should take a break from watching Euphoria and go watch Peacemaker. It's such a good show. You'll love it. I loved it, and it's really good. So now I want to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. Once again, if you have not seen it, spoiler warning, go watch it and come back. So from here on out, I will be talking about spoilers from the Book of Boba Fett. Alright, so Book of Boba Fett was a really good show. I loved it. I really love anything Star Wars. Star Wars and Marvel, they put out good stuff, and then some stuff they put out is kind of but I still watch it. This show was good, but once it got to episode 5, it felt more of the Mandalorian show. And I don't know if it's because the Mandalorian at this point is a bigger character than Boba Fett in the movies and series perspective, or they did that on purpose. Because the first 4 episodes, of course, were Boba Fett heavy. He is the main character, so it should be heavy on his character. It was good, and it was understandable to get to that point of that they need more people to fight the crime syndicate, the Pikes. And then episode 5 started, and that entire show did not have Boba Fett in it. Boba Fett was not in that episode. And it was all about the Mandalorian going to that weird ring city looking thing and talking to the Mandalorian lady who was there. And this is the way. And then he left and went back to Tatooine to Mos Eisley and needed a new ship, which his new ship is awesome. It's a Naboo starfighter, and he got it because usually the last time we saw them, they're all yellow, and it was in episode 1. But these things, it's a great ship, and he's got it all silver, which is his color. He went to the planet where Luke Skywalker was training Baby Yoda. Grogu is his name. R2 was there, and they also met with Ahsoka was there, which is also weird to see Ahsoka and Luke in the same scene. Seeing them on the screen together, because Ahsoka was the Padawan of Anakin, which is Luke's father, and Anakin was also Darth Vader after that. But it's weird to think all that kind of stuff because they're bringing back all these characters from the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars happened in between episode 2 and 3. This series takes place after episode 6. This is 30 plus years later. So, and I know, Ahsoka's, not human, so I don't know how she ages, I don't know how other alien races age. Baby Yoda, he is, 60 years old, and he's still a very little child, He was still the same, he looked the same during Order 66, and that was, like I said, over 30 years ago at that point. And now, Luke is trying to train him in the ways of the Force, because Yoda kind of trained Luke, and now Luke is training Baby Yoda. There was a scene where Baby Yoda had a flashback to where Order 66 happened. He was at the Jedi Temple, and I had that written down. He was at the Jedi Temple, and the clones were coming in to come kill all the Jedi, and they saw him, and then the flashback ended. Somehow Baby Yoda got out of there, and that is a question that I think the next season of The Mandalorian, season 3, will answer, is who saved Baby Yoda? What Jedi was able to get Baby Yoda out of the Jedi Temple without Anakin or any of the clones killing them? It was not Yoda. I definitely don't think it was Yoda. Because Yoda fought the Emperor and then left on the speeder with Senator Organa, and then got on the ship with Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end of episode 3 before Kenobi went and fought Anakin at the end, the Battle of the Heroes, It could be anybody, honestly. It's not Ahsoka, because they showed what happened to her in the Clone Wars, so it can't be her. Anakin was bad. It can't be Kenobi or Yoda. It could be a Jedi we haven't seen before, or a Jedi that I'm going to say this, and it's got to be Mace Windu. How can it not be Mace Windu at this point? Unless it's some other Jedi that was in the Clone Wars that we don't remember that wasn't killed, because you look through Episode 3, Kit Fisto's dead, Plo Koon's dead, Aurra Singh's dead, Mundi's dead. They were all killed in Order 66 by the clones. So, like, who's left that you know of that isn't either bad or dead or gone at that point? It's got to be Mace Windu. The thought of, like, Mace Windu getting electrocuted, he got his hand cut off, and then he got electrocuted, and he flew out the window at Episode 3. He's not dead. He could easily survive that fall. Even though that fall was a long ways down, he could easily survive it. Because he's a Jedi. If he was able to get back into the Jedi Temple and think he's like, oh, I gotta warn everybody that the Chancellor is actually Emperor Palpatine and Anakin has turned on us, and then get in there and see all these people are dying, all the Jedi are being killed by the clones that they've all turned, and then he goes in there and he's able to save Baby Yoda. That's like a story right there. They could make a series about that. But seeing that would be so good to be able to get a point where Ahsoka, Luke Skywalker, and Mace Windu are all alive at the same time is baffling. At the very end, Boba Fett had one last duel with Cad Bane, and he stabbed him. I don't think Cad Bane is dead. Cobb Vanth was the one in the Bacta tank. He was the sheriff. Or the marshal, he's still alive. They're keeping him alive. He's going to be healed and be back to normal probably in the next season of The Mandalorian. I still don't think Cad Bane's dead. I really just don't think he's dead. So, but we'll find out more. I don't know when Season 3 of The Mandalorian is premiering. It's currently filming and real close to, finish filming. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in that season, just to go with that, So yeah, great show overall. I don't think it was better than The Mandalorian, but it's a nice filler, It's nice to give us that. And if they have a season 2, I would like to see it. Like if Mace Windu lives and he shows up at this point, I definitely think Boba Fett might get his revenge at some point on Mace Windu, because Mace Windu did kill his dad, which was Jango Fett. So we'll see what happens. We'll just have to wait and see, because that's my opinion, that's my take on it. But I don't know. It's still going to be good no matter what happens. But we'll see who saved Grogu. So yeah, that was my review on Peacemaker and the Book of Boba Fett. So now, going to a question. I got a question from all of you here. If you ever want to ask a question, there's a link down in the description of this podcast that will take you to my YouTube channel. Click on that. You should subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then go to one of the videos, which are the episodes of the Toddcast on YouTube, which you can listen to those as well. Go on one of those, and down in the comment section of the video, you can comment and ask your question down there, and I'll be able to see it, and then it'll be featured on a future episode of the Toddcast. So I got a question right here from one of y'all, and I'll read this out right now. If you could choose to live in any country besides the U.S., which country would it be? That's a good question. So I live in Louisiana. I already live in the United States. If I had to choose a country other than America to live in, man, I like America, though. I actually do like the U.S. I'm not like most people, What's a good country to live in? Iceland. Iceland seems like a cool country to live in. Canada. Canada seems cool, but really cold. Somewhere in England. Not England. Somewhere in Europe, maybe. Australia, maybe. No, Australia's got too many snakes and spiders, and everything's poisonous down there. Not an island. Well, unless it's Iceland. I can't choose Hawaii because that's considered U.S. That and Alaska. Maybe Iceland or somewhere in Europe. That's nice. Like, what's the name of that place? Switzerland. Is that it? Yeah, Switzerland. I might go there. That seems cool. The Swiss. That's that bank. You can get that Swiss bank, and they don't really care. That's where all the millionaires put their stuff. That's where the Wolf of Wall Street kept all his money, was in that Swiss bank, because they didn't really care. They're like, hey, keep your money here, and we won't tell anybody. I guess Iceland. I mean, it's pretty looking and seems cool, Iceland apparently is the only country that does not have mosquitoes, which is, one, baffling, and two, would be a definite lifesaver for somebody like me who lives in the southern United States and gets killed by mosquitoes every single year. So yeah, I'll just choose Iceland. I don't really have a preferred country. I don't plan on ever living anywhere other than inside the U.S. Maybe another state at some point later on in life in the U.S. I mean, I like Louisiana, but if it's a job thing, But outside the U.S., I don't think I'd ever go anywhere. But I mean, I'd visit, different countries. I'd like to visit Australia, Canada, somewhere down in Mexico on the coast, like Cozumel and one of them islands down there in the Gulf. Different places in Europe, maybe Spain, Italy, England, of course. Just different places, but yeah, I think Iceland would probably be my number one guess. When I was a kid, I really wanted to move to Canada for some reason. I don't really know why. I just wanted to have a pet moose, I guess. Have some pet Mises. But yeah, Iceland would definitely be my answer for that right now anyway in life. So yeah, thank you for that question. That's a really good one too. So I got 2 drinks here today with me, and I'm not that all excited about them. No, they don't have alcohol in them. They are actually the coffee Coca-Cola drinks. Of course, Coca-Cola put out its different coffee-flavored drinks. It's not coffee-flavored. It has coffee in it. Like, it's got coffee. Like, I got 2 different ones here, 2 different flavors. These things are wet. They're sweating everywhere because it's like 80 degrees outside right now. Yes, it actually is. Well, it's like 70-something, but still, that's warm for this time period. A year ago was the snowstorm that we were trapped in our houses for a while, and that big car pileup happened. I think I mentioned this last week. That was a year ago at this point. So you can tell how much a year changes. But a year ago, it wouldn't get above freezing. It would stay in the low 30s into the high 20s, and now it's mid 70s, and it poured down rain today too. So with this coffee drink, it's the Coca-Cola drink. I've got 2 of them. This first one I want to try is the zero sugar vanilla flavor. I don't really know. I don't like coffee. Just to tell y'all, I don't drink coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee. I don't care if you like coffee. I have nothing against it. It's just I don't like it. I've tried to like it. I've tried different coffees that people have made, and I think I've tried one from Starbucks before that somebody had, but I didn't like it. Like, I just don't like it. I don't know why. Like, that's me and a lot of stuff, It's like, I just don't like it. I don't know what's wrong with it or me or whatever, Like, I know coffee is like your main source of caffeine for most people, but I just don't like it, That's just me. But these things are sweating everywhere. So I have got these 2. The first one, the zero sugar vanilla, is the only zero sugar one I have. The other one's a normal one. Here, let's turn this. So I don't know if I like this or not. It is the Coca-Cola with coffee, zero sugar. It's got great Coca-Cola taste blended with rich, luxurious coffee. 0 calorie with vanilla flavor. Please recycle. No calories, no sugar. How much caffeine's in this? Does it say? It's got some caffeine. Well, normal Coke has caffeine in it. But since it's got coffee beans in it, or is it coffee flavor? That's what I don't know. I don't know if they mixed in coffee beans, actual beans, or just the flavor. Oh, yeah, here we go. That's a big one. God, that smells weird. Here, you hear that? What does it smell? Oh, you know what that smells like? It smells like the inside of every gas station. Like when you walk into a gas station on like a warm day, and it's like got all that crap and just everything's there. That's what this smells like. It smells like a rego normal gas station smell. Because it's got that smell of like soda and coffee. That's what it smells like. That's what every gas station smells like. It's got real pungent coffee smell, and then everything else mixed with candy and sodas, and if they have a Subway in the back, that's what it smells like. Well, Coke Zero Sugar with vanilla flavor. I'm going to give you a try and see how it is. Interesting. That is confusing and interesting at the same time. It's not that bad. I was able to keep it down. I really thought I was going to spit it out, because if it had a hard coffee taste, I wasn't going to be able to take it. I'm going to give you, actually, a 68, honestly. I mean, that's not bad, really. It's got the taste of the zero sugar, like how Coke Zero tastes. It tastes like that. It's got a good taste of vanilla in it, but there's something else, and I guess it's the coffee. And it's not very hard at you. Like it's a very subtle coffee taste to it. It's not bad. The zero sugar, it tastes good. I haven't tried the other one yet. The other one is not zero sugar. It's normal, so I don't know how it's going to be probably hit harder with all the sugar in it. But zero sugar vanilla gets a 68 because that's not bad, honestly. So the second one I got here is Coke Coffee Caramel flavored. Now, this is not zero sugar. This is, of course, like I've said, this is dripping everywhere. It's so wet. Why is it wet? Just because it's hot outside, this thing's got to sweat more than I am right now? Or about the same much. I am sweating a little bit right now currently, if you wanted to know. So it's Coca-Cola with coffee, all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. Same bull. But it's got caramel. Let me read the nutritional facts. It is 70 calories, 18 total sugar, no protein. Oh, come on. It's got 18 carbs and 40 milligrams of sodium. What did this have? Okay, the zero sugar with vanilla also had 40 milligrams of sodium. 40 grams, 40 whole grams of sodium. They just put straight salt in it. No, I'm just kidding. It's only 40 milligrams. So 18 grams of sugar, and that one had 0. So this one will be it'll have quite a kick to it. There we go. And it's got caramel in it, so it smells like candy, honestly. It really does. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a try and see if it's actually worth anything. Oh! Oh my. God, I'm so confused. Why? Like, why do you taste like this? Oh, it got worse every time I drank it. Oh, it's not as good as the other one. This one gets a 62. Yeah, no, it's not as good as the other one. It's got a real bad aftertaste too. I don't know if that's the caramel or the weirdness of the Coke and coffee mixed in with all that. Caramel Coke doesn't go well together. If you ever thought that you wanted to put a piece of caramel in your Coke drink, then I advise no, because that ain't good. It's not. I'm not about to puke everywhere, but it's not good. It's not better. Normal regular Coke tastes way better than these two. But the zero sugar vanilla tastes way better than this caramel one. Like, it's on a different level. Even though their scores aren't that far apart, it still means a lot. With zero sugar, Coke, coffee, vanilla, however you're supposed to say it, Coca-Cola with coffee, zero sugar, vanilla flavored is a solid 68. And Coke, coffee, caramel flavor sits at a really good 62. I think there's 3 more flavors. I think there's just like a normal one, just Coke with coffee, no extra flavor, and there's a zero sugar one, I think, for just normal. But I'll have to see. I have to find and look for the other ones. I think and there's like a normal vanilla, but there's no zero sugar caramel. It's just normal with caramel. So I'll have to look and see if I can find the others and see how they all rank against each other. But I can kind of feel or taste the caffeine in it, like with Diet Coke and normal Coke. You can take, like if you taste a Coke and a Diet Coke, you can taste, of course, which one's Diet because it has no sugar in it, but they both have caffeine. And I think Diet Coke actually has a little bit more caffeine than normal Coke, trying to take the place of the sugar that was left over. I can tell you which. I can taste test a root beer with caffeine and a root beer without, and I can tell you the difference. Because Barks root beer has caffeine, but Mug root beer doesn't. Now I don't know if A&W root beer has caffeine or not, but yeah, those two they're all right. The zero sugar vanilla one is okay, but I'll have to look up and see and find the other ones and see which one's the best and how they rank up against each other. So I'll be looking for those. But if you want to try them, there's a picture of them on the Toddcast Instagram page. You can go to @the_Toddcast_ on Instagram, only on Instagram, of course, and you'll be able to see pictures of me with the guests and me with. That's about it. Me with guests, and then you can see different pictures of many different drinks I've tried and reviewed throughout the history of the Toddcast. So, yeah. So, I think it's going to do it for this episode. If you want to ever recommend a drink that you would like for me to try and review on a future episode, like I said before, whenever you go to the comment section on my YouTube channel on one of the videos, just comment a drink. As long as you put the brand name, and if it's a specific flavor, make sure you put the flavor. But if you just say Fanta, I'm going to pick whichever Fantas I want to review. I'm going to pick Fanta Grape, Fanta Orange, Fanta Strawberry, Fanta whatever, and I'll review a lot of. If you want to review a whole group of drinks, you can just say whichever ones you want. Just put vanilla, caramel, whatever, So, yeah, make sure you do that, and I think that's going to do it for this episode. As always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram @the_Toddcast_ for all your updates and Toddcast needs. And make sure you tell your friends and your family to give it a listen. And thank all of you again for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.